Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Butterfly Transformations. You are with Tanisha Ali, and today we're going to be talking about twin flames. Now, before we start talking about twin flames, I am going to pull a oracle card. I have not used this deck in a couple of years. I'm going to pull a Chinese fortune reading card around your twin flame journey. Now, this message today is for you if you feel like you are in a twin flame journey, or if you feel like you have been in one in the past. You may be working with this individual, meaning you're in union with them. You all are actively trying to make a relationship work in the midst of some of the challenges that often beset twin flame relationships. You could actually have just blown up and imploded more recently, and this message may be for you. If you are single, the only way this message may be for you is if you are curious about the twin flame journey. The twin flame journey, unfortunately, has become quite commercialized, sensationalized, and even polarized. And so when I say twin flame journey, instead of getting stuck on that word, instead of getting focused on the semantics of it, what I want you to understand is it is one of the most highest expressions of a relationship. Look at it that way, because a soulmate relationship can also be a harmonious, thriving soulmate relationship can also be one of the highest expressions of a relationship. But those two relationships are very, very different. They are very different, trust me. And so when we talk about twin flame, if the word twin flame makes you feel uncomfortable, because I'm not as much into labels. And I'm not as much into allowing a word to separate us. All right. And you all probably know that about me on the channel. I'll bring anything in from any holy book, whether it's the Torah, the Quran, the Bible. Truth is truth. All right. So don't get stuck on the words, because you'll miss the point. The twin flame relationship is going to be described from a few different levels of synthesis, from my own experiences, from the experiences that I observed and others, from that which I've researched and learned about, and from those experiences that I validate within myself. And I say that to you to remind you that no one can validate or invalidate your twin flame journey or the lack thereof. That is something that you have to go within self and reflect on. It might take you a long time to recognize that you're in a twin flame journey. You may be in a healing space after disunion with a so-called twin flame, only to realize that you were really dealing with a karmic. All right, because I may weave some of the information related to karmics also in this video. So as you're watching the video, make sure that you recognize every single thing that I'm talking about may not be something that you resonate with at this particular time or in this particular karmic cycle of your twin flame relationship, because I like to think that there are karmic cycles within the twin flame relationship. And I don't know if it's been described that way, but that's how I synthesize it, all right? As you begin to do more inner work and do more inner reflection, you start to really gain a different level of insight over time by way of exercising your wisdom into your personal experiences, whether they be twin flame or something else. So those things are really important to keep in mind. You're constantly evolving. You should be shape-shifting. There should be nothing in your life that is remaining the same at all times. If it is, then there's something stagnant or something stale. By the same token, transformation takes time. True transformation that brings in an entirely different period in your life and a whole subset of different experiences that reflect things that are going on, not only in the outer world with the cosmos, but within your inner world. Things that you're processing underneath the surface. Transformation and change in this dimension take time, because we are going through karmic cycles and we're having to work through things. And You don't get anywhere until you do the work. You have to earn your vibration. You have to earn the level of experiences that you call to yourself. And if you keep falling down on the job, or it continues to take you whatever the length of time it takes you to learn these lessons, until you process those lessons, you're not going to be able to move forward. And that's in your life, and that's also in the twin flame journey. So I'm going to get into that in a second. But again, the first thing I want to do is I want to pull, on the split, y'all, I just pulled forgiveness and the dragon. So the twin flame relationship is fire. Okay. When you think of a dragon, you think of, something that you can feel the heat, something that is very chemical. And because it is very chemical in terms of chemistry, it's very alchemical as well. The dragon energy, when you think of the cycles, the cyclical patterns that beset a twin flame journey, I almost said true twin flame, but who the hell gets to be the person that gets to decide what a true twin flame journey is? Because again, as I mentioned before, this is my experience and it's your experience. But and then I thought it was forgiveness. So, but I'm not sure. I lost my train of thought. So because I think it was forgiveness, but because I'm not sure, I'm going to step back from that and we're going to pull fresh. So we're pulling again the card that you need today to most reflect on and meditate on as it relates to your twin flame journey. All right. And we have hope. Okay. Golly. At the bottom of that, we have wisdom. All right. So let's connect this message and you apply it how it resonates. With the message, and look at the picture that is crowning us being the hope message, or crowning you or whoever is watching this. This is saying there is reason to keep the fire lit. There is reason to continue to have hope and optimism around something that could be beset by the dragon energy that we looked at earlier or not. There's a reason to remain in the frequency of being open to the possibility, because that's what hope is. Hope and faith can sometimes go together, but faith to me is more of being entangled with the outcome of a situation. You have faith that something will manifest. Hope is a little bit different, because hope says that you're willing to be open and there's cause to be optimistic about something, and you're willing to be open so that you can call in certain energies and have certain experiences regardless of the outcome. Either way, we're looking at a positive energy that is surrounding a situation. Now we have wisdom. I'm big on wisdom on this channel, because wisdom, I feel, it's a gift from the divine. It's a spiritual quality, and it is something that we are beset with, or that we are gifted with, or blessed with, because of something that we are synthesizing in our lives actively. Wisdom does not fall on the ears of the deaf, dumb, and blind. And I'm not talking about those in a concrete way. I'm talking about the people who are not willing to listen, the people who are not willing to see, the people who are in denial when I say blind. Dumb, I'm talking about, are the ignorant, the people who are not willing to tax themselves to do the work that you have to do to be in this world, to raise your vibration. Because a twin flame connection is not going to happen, period, unless and until both people are in a, I say, fifth dimensional and higher reality. It is not going to happen in the third world matrix dimension. It's not going to happen. What you're going to deal with in that aspect is drama, fighting, the ego's flaring up. You're going to deal with that dragon energy. So when we look at wisdom here, what we are really talking about is what comes about as a blessing or a gift from a knowing and experiential journey based upon how you are interacting with your reality in terms of lessons, what has been learned through experience. Wisdom is a quality, and it has a nature to it that allows you to step outside of a situation and to see the truth of a situation and to be willing to accept it whether you like it or not. Wisdom has a quality that allows you to integrate your karmic cycles and all of the lessons and experiences that you have been having in a way that allow you to have an inner insight into something and to really see the writing on the wall, the truth of a situation, to the point to where you can apply it to your life and extract not only the lesson, but have some sort of, take some sort of action. So there's something that's going on right now. You may be in a learning period with your twin flame where certain levels of awareness and integration need to happen to build wisdom in order for this to be something that you can stand on. If you happen to have been in that dragon energy at some point, and you're in the energy of these flare-ups and these, I'm going to call it the 9 of Cups and the 2 of Swords and 2 of Pentacles energy, where it's like this. Okay, 1 minute you're everything, 1 minute that person is everything to you, and then the next minute, like, you're blocking that person or they're blocking you, or the relationship is surrounded by some real turbulence that creates an unsettlement and a discombobulation within you. This to me is saying that, first of all, there is a wisdom in this that you may not understand, but this is also something that is coming about, and I am getting hot, and I don't think I cut the air on, or it's probably like at 78, which is where I put it when I go to sleep. So I'm going to pause this for a second. Hope I can remember where I was. But so, okay. So there's something going on in the dynamic right now where a certain amount of growth through experience has to happen. If you happen to be in the dragon energy with your twin flame, you reach a point where you reach the point of diminishing returns. There's reason to have hope, but there's still another cycle that you have to enter into that can only happen during a period where each person is having and interacting with their reality and drawing things into their reality that allow them to grow. If you notice, in the absence of reflection, you can't process your life, right? In order to get to a level of wisdom, there's a lot of inner processing that has to happen. That cannot happen while you're in constant contact with someone. For example, if you're cooking over the stove and you've burned your hand, the more that you continue to cook over that stove and not pull away and rescue the burn, the more that the ambient heat of what you're doing is going to continue to aggravate that wound, and it's not going to heal, right? At some point, you have to come away from a situation to allow healing to occur so that wisdom can happen, so that then this flicker or this situation of optimism and hope and perhaps renewal and reconciliation can actually happen. Okay, I have celebration down here and I have marriage. So if you're watching this and you're resonating with this message, however those cards are lining up, there's something good potentially that is on the other side of something, whether it happens in a time cycle that makes sense to you or not. We can be very fixated on timing in this reality. And as such, it is difficult for people to pull away from a situation and focus on what is calling them in the affairs of their life outside of a twin flame connection. Until you get that time off task to do the time on task stuff in your reality, this can't happen. So if this message is resonating with you and you happen to be in a down period or a period of separation with your twin flame, you've got to accept that. I got to stop there because I'm already at 13 minutes. I would love to go on. So let me get into the message, and I probably won't get as far as I want it to because I don't want this video to be too long, and I will do another one. Maybe I'll do a part 2. Who the hell knows? Yeah, maybe we need a part 2. So, okay, the twin flame connection. You can research what it has been in the literature and so forth and so on. But in short, the twin flame connection is a higher level connection that comes into your life to almost help you to integrate your karmic cycles, integrate all aspects of yourself, in short, to deal with your shit so that you can rise. The person that comes into your life has an energetic signature that is so akin to yours, it feels almost just like you. Hell, it is just like you. If you think of the sperm that fertilizes the egg that causes the twins, in the womb, as above, so below. So I always say that when you have trouble understanding something in your life, look for the as above, so below references or correspondences. If we can have twin children, okay, you can definitely have a spiritual twin. And that person has the same soul essence as you. And as such, that person can ignite growth, fire, chaos, dysfunction, shadow aspects. They can trigger everything in you in such a way, because you share the deepest and most abiding love with this person. They can ignite those things within you in such a way that you are unable to deal with all of it at one time. It's like plugging an appliance that is really designed to be plugged into a 220 volt system, even though the plug is going to be shaped differently. If you're an electrician, take a break, into a plug that's designed for 120 volts and plugging it in and expecting not to blow a fuse. You're going to blow a fuse. You're going to blow a fuse again and again and again. You're going to keep blowing a fuse until both people recognize that they're blowing a fuse and both people process that they're blowing a fuse. Both people come online with the gravity of what they're dealing with so that they can approach it at the level that the twin flame reunion or situation requires. By the way, if you haven't purchased my book, Manifesting Your Masterpiece, make sure you get it from Amazon. So you're going to go through a lot of cycles to even get to the point to where both people realize they keep blowing these circuits and they don't know what's going on, because each time they're blowing these circuits, it's after a period of up leveling where both of them are up leveling. And that's, I've got to digress to another point. But what I want to say about that is there's this cyclical energy that happens where the people come together, they rise, and then they fall. They come to a new high, and then they are debased. In whatever way debasing may mean, depending upon the dynamic that those two people have. Okay, debasing for one group of people could mean a level of betrayal that happens that is out of this world. That someone in another group of debasing, it could just mean an argument and hanging up on the phone or something crazy like that. But whatever happens, they are not able to have a meeting of the minds in the way that each of them perhaps were able in the past to have a meeting of minds with other people and resolve conflict. It's a different quality because we're dealing with a different quantity in this situation. And so you have this energy of start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. You have this pure happiness, 9 of cups, 10 of cups energy, and then you have a tower moment, and then you have a moment where one person is suffering or both people ultimately are suffering, but they don't have the tools and they don't have what it takes to fix the situation, because the tools and what it takes to fix the situation requires a higher vibratory frequency. And you don't get to a higher vibratory frequency by just wishing that you were there. All right? There's work that you have to do. There's efforting that you have to do. There's self-analysis. There's self-inquiry. There's meditation. There's introspection. There's everything that is contained in that Hermit card. Meanwhile, life has to continue to move on. So there's this person that's a perfect match for you. And when you come into the space of this person, all the bells and whistles go off. The fireworks go off. The chakras open. And you don't know what hit you. This is not an ordinary situation where you meet someone and y'all click and you have chemistry. No, it's not like that. And if you've experienced multiple relationships in your life where you really had some good chemistry with some folks and you thought it was going to last forever, when you have a twin flame connection, it is very different. And you know that it is different, and the quality of it and what keeps you in that cyclical energy of going back and stopping and starting, stopping and starting, stopping and starting. It becomes something you eventually stop reasoning about. And when you stop reasoning about it, see yourself as having made some headway with it. Because when you stop reasoning about it, you stop getting fixated as much on the periods where you're not in union with this person, because it has to happen. You also have to trust that if it is for you in this lifetime, then it will happen. And if not, you have to go and you have to merge with another one of your soulmate energies. Your twin flame is a soulmate, but there are other soulmate energies as well that can be just as productive in your life in the ways that they need to be in order to sustain a desire to have a relationship with the person and a relationship with yourself. So you have to accept that. Oftentimes, I think in this reality, twin flame relationships have a different set of challenges, and they can pretty much go off grid and they cannot work. But oftentimes as well, especially with the energies that we're experiencing right now on the planet, for people who are doing their vibrational hygiene, for people who are focusing on themselves and moving their lives forward and fulfilling their divine purpose, there is a great chance that you can come into union with your twin flame. So keep the faith, but keep the faith by working on yourself. If you are in a starving, clinging energy and you're not willing to take your hands off of a situation, all you're going to do is manifest more misery. You're going to manifest more disintegration. You're going to manifest more discombobulation and disharmony. So the relationship is beset by these cyclical energies of which people may call on and off, or the runner, the chaser. You have someone who's running away from the relationship, but it doesn't have to be semantic, from a semantic place, defined as running away from the relationship. It can be defined as not being able to deal with the power or the current that's running through the electrical circuits, and they blow a fuse and they have to come out of it because it's too much for them to handle. And if it's too much for you to handle in a relationship, it's messing with everything in your life. It's messing with your job. It's messing with your money. It's messing with your abundance. It's when you get into a fifth dimensional reality and you stay there for extended periods of time, or you're working on your vibratory frequency, you recognize that you get constructive feedback from the universe like very fast. So when you're out of alignment, it affects everything in your life. It affects your health very quickly. It affects your money. It affects the other relationships that you have in your life. It affects your abundance. It affects your mindset. It affects everything. That's why this relationship, when you need to take your hands off the steering wheel and you need to let it do what it needs to do, you need to surrender to that. Don't fight the feeling. It's so important. So, okay, this person comes in and they're fire. And when they're fire, you're earth, and they're burning the hell up out of you. And then when you're fire, then maybe they're wind, or vice versa, and they're blowing out your fire. Whatever it is, you are also able to come into a very complementary relationship like water and earth, okay? And you're able to come into a level of union that is so blissful that you know that there's nothing like that you have ever experienced, okay? The connection, the mental connection, the physical connection in terms of the chemistry, the sexual chemistry, the physical chemistry, everything about that person for you and everything about you for that person is amazing. It's amazing, and it can be nondescript, for lack of a better word. But you also come into union with regard to your energy centers. You raise to a fifth dimension and higher with very little effort, if any effort at all, because it's so organic. It's like someone that comes into your life that has the key to your essence, and vice versa. The same is true for you and them. So when you come in, like slow motion, I always have this image of in the movie The Lion King, Scar and Mufasa, I think, when they were fighting and it was slow motion, it's like two huge powerful forces coming together like this, and they make music or they make mayhem. They most definitely make music, but they most definitely make mayhem, because you cannot have light without dealing with the dark. And when I say the dark, I'm not talking about bad dark. I'm talking about the polarity, the tension, the magnetism, the repulsion. The aspect of the divine part of this relationship is that it is there to bring about a genesis, to bring about an organic renewal and ultimate transformation. Think of the Phoenix energy. It is there to bring about a rebirth and a resurrection in you, in a way, because you've already been on a healing journey. You've already been doing some work. You're no longer asleep. You're beginning to awaken to the possibility of the divinity that exists. You're beginning to awaken to the possibility of the beauty of the Garden of Eden in which you live, in the Garden of Eden in which this physical reality actually is. You're beginning to come into the reality of energy and how this life is a magical place. And as you raise your vibration, different things become available to you. So I would argue, but I don't know everything, if you're not on that journey already, then this is not something that, although it may come into your life, who knows, it may not have may the odds be forever in your favor. It may not have as great of a likelihood of success because there's so much density that has to be overcome. Although when the twins are together, they are able to energize each other at such a level that they can take quantum leaps forward. But in taking those quantum leaps forward, at every level, there's another devil, right? And I don't mean that literally, but at every level of upscaling, there's another level of honing and refinement that has to take place before that key can go into that lock and it can remain that way. Because ultimately, the purpose is to come to know self more, to come to understand the integration of self and the integration of the totality of who you are in this human experience, which requires that you be willing to see all facets of yourself that you're not able to see, that you can only see through your twin. Because the very thing that they do that triggers you is the very thing that you must deal with and master at the level of self-mastery. And until you are willing to master that at the level of self-mastery and exercise the level of going in and the compassion and the understanding and the reflection and whatever else that may be required, it ain't gonna happen. So what do you do in the meantime? So that is what creates the tension, because here this person comes with the key to your door or the last piece to your puzzle. They are the only one that has the sexual energy and chemistry, the physical energy and chemistry, and that oomph or whatever else it is that you can't even put your finger on, the psychological profile, the intellectual and mental profile, the financial profile, whatever it may be. They're the only person that is your equal. Because fundamentally, this person is your equal and you can see that. So for those of you who are in karmic relationships, mistaking these for twin flame relationships, it's not the same thing. If you got somebody, I'm going to say, who is an addict of some sort, let's say, and this is not to bash on anyone, but let's say you have someone that has an active addiction in their life. And that addiction has torn your life apart and has ravaged you. And we all have addictions of one or another, but it has become so intrusive and it has gripped you, and you cannot save yourself, or you cannot save yourself and your children, and you're in this crazy relationship and it has debased you and taken you way down here. And you love this person and y'all have sexual chemistry and y'all been together since the beginning, but the disrespect continues, it doesn't improve, and you're constantly in this crazy karmic cycle that is turning your life upside down. It's got you in the poorhouse. It's got you living a life that you don't even recognize anymore. That is not your twin flame. That is not a runner-chaser cycle. That is not someone who is in a situation that's going to be redeemed. That is a situation that you need to move out of. That is a debasing karmic relationship in which you have to learn your lesson, and that person was sent with another energetic frequency that is so akin to yours, but not in its totality in terms of the essence of who you are. All right, and the essence of what your potentials and capacities are in this particular lifetime at that particular time. That is not the same. And that's how these karmic relationships can be mistaken and end up being really false twin flame relationships. You have to begin to understand what the difference is. I have a couple videos on my channel about the twin flame journey and false twin flames, karmics, soulmates, soul ties, that stuff. Those are the videos you need to actually watch. I'll see if I can link them in the end of this one. I don't usually do that though, but I'll take the time to do. Y'all see my little rolly down here I'm working on, but it's just the way I'm sitting. But yeah, so that's important. So not only that, the way that you meet, I'm going to the next point because I can see the clock. The way that you meet this person is through a series of synchronistic events that seem, sometimes you know, the butterfly effect. The butterfly flapping his wings over here creates a disturbance and an earthquake somewhere else in the world. Like you can see, and the way you connect the dots to having met this person, you can see that a lot was involved for this particular coinciding of events, this synchronistic energy came about for you to meet this person. It's a very interesting way when you meet this person, because the relationship is supposed to test you, and the chemistry is supposed to pull you into having an encounter that is ultimately designed to grow you and put you on your path, or increase the ability for you to experience the blessings of your divine path, your divine life journey, your divine purpose. This person, I lost my train of thought. And it was a pretty important point. Wow. I might have to pause for a second. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Because of how this relationship is supposed to be transcendental, allowing you to transcend the ego, allowing you to transcend everything related to the image that we show to the outside world, whether it is caring about what other people think, whether it is being, materialistic, whether it is being judgmental and separated from other people, whether it is living in fear and being a slave to something that you need to transform from whatever your particular journey is that is unfolding for your soul. This person comes in such a way that the connection is irresistible, and such is the growth therefrom. And this is what I mean by that. Someone will come into your life at a totally inopportune time. If you look at the research, that's what you'll see. You may see someone that comes in that is much, there's a dramatic age gap between the two people. They could come from two different backgrounds. They could have different sexual orientations, things that maybe they've never experienced before in their life. They could have, they could be from two different racial backgrounds or two different cultures. One person may be Jewish, another person may be Islamic. One person could be a steadfast atheist or agnostic, and they come into your life and you're a 5-day praying Muslim. You know what I'm saying? But there's something that happens. This is supposed to bring you into union. This is supposed to break down all the artificial barriers that we have in this third dimensional reality and everything else, while at the same time growing you, helping you to see the nonsense and the crap that has been a part of your world that you need to deal with, that you couldn't see before through the other relationships, and put you in a place where you are able to experience the divine. And when I say you are able to experience the divine, what I mean is, in those moments of paradise and perfection with that individual, you can taste God. That's the best way I can explain this, all right? It is a very, very powerful connection designed on your PDP, your professional development plan, to be the ultimate. And because it is the ultimate, you don't just get it by sitting under the tree and praying about it. Like, it's grinding work. It's the type of work that you have to roll up your sleeves in order to be able to do. It's the kind of work that sometimes people just walk away from because it's too much, and they would rather have a happy, compatible chemistry or chemical connection with someone else, rather than to continue to experience the shock treatments and the short circuiting that can happen in a twin flame relationship. And that's what I want to say. There's so much more to say, and I may do a part 2 video. I think I will. I am, because I have too much that I haven't said. Because I'm really trying to talk about this from an authentic experiential point without a lot of bulleted points. And I need to talk about that. I'm trying to give you like the real deal of what it actually feels like. Okay, so rather than deal with the highs and lows and the difficulties of coming into union and really connecting and doing the work that's necessary, because remember, this work that you're doing is very, very triggering, and sometimes it can be too much because you have the egos that are at play. And when the two people can't return to a place of harmony and balance and temperance, or they're not able to return to love, then the connection breaks down, and at some point it just may not be practical to continue to move forward. But what you should notice as the twin flame connection continues to go on, off, on, off, on, off, especially depending upon the time continuum, the 3-dimensional time continuum. This is something that it's not going to happen over 6 months. It's not going to happen over a year. It's going to take time, okay? And you have to be patient for it. And in the meantime, you have to be offline doing your personal growth, because I can promise you, if this is your true twin flame, then as you go offline and you're doing your personal work and you're gaining in your abundance and you're gaining in your relationship with self and you're maximizing your potential in your divine life purpose, you're earning money, you're getting your promotions, you're working on your health, you're doing all the things that are a part of this life experience. When we allow relationships to just come in and sit down in our lives and act as if that's the end all be all, there's a whole nother part of your experience that you are accountable to. And if you are doing your work, that person is mirroring you, they are doing their work as well, and they're making gains as well. Because when you come back into union with that person, even if it goes offline again, you should feel progress, you should sense progress, and you should not still be dealing with the same level of distortion and dysfunction at the same level that you were before. You should see that there's been some growth. You should see that even in the repeated triggering, huge quantum leaps have been made, and there's been growth. All right. That's something that is very, very important in the twin flame relationship. And on that note, I'm going to pause and start the second part of the video, because I don't want to make this too long. So I'm going to start the second part of the twin flame video, and it's going to come out 2 days after this video. So if you want to see that one, wait for 2 days after that one, and I will release this one. But I'm going to continue in my discussion. I love y'all, love y'all, love y'all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Don't get stuck on the twin flame semantics. All right, open yourself up to understanding what the quality and nature is of the relationship that you are having. Again, if you are trying to manifest something in your world and you are trying to move to a higher level of vibration and frequency in your life, you must get that book there, Manifesting Your Masterpiece. You can get it on Amazon. You to read a page every single day. You can use it as an oracle, or you can use it as a page turner, but it will allow you to embrace certain life and truth affirming principles that will help you to gain clarity, clear and heal emotional and energetic blockages, and to also be able to up-level your mindset so that you can manifest the glory of God that is within you. It's the level 1 of the inner work that we all have to be doing on a regular basis consistently to get to the different places in our lives that we need to be. All right, so that book, and if you've gotten it, the thousands of you that have bought it, I love you and I appreciate you. Please go back and do your reviews. Okay, go back and do your reviews, and I'll see you in part 2 of the video.
If you are not using I Am Melanin Magic hair oil, then what are you using?
Hey guys, so I started using this oil called I Am Melanin Magic since February of this year, and check out the new growth. Like, it's insane. Not only did it help with my new growth, but it smells amazing too.
See the dramatic improvements Denisha has made after not having hair around her edges for 3 years. Tanya's hair had been like this for almost 20 years, and while getting injections. Her doctor said it was scarred and would never grow back. After 4 weeks of using I Am Melanin Magic, this is what she looked like. I Am Melanin Magic did this to Danette's hair after a short time. Hi, I'm the creator of the I Am Melanin Magic hair and skincare brand. My vision has always been to develop a line of products that meets the unique needs of melanated people. The I Am Melanin Magic hair oil is our premier product. It is the leading high-end supplement for your mane.
It reduces breakage, promotes growth, and can be used on all hair types and looks, from straightened hair and micro-locks to wigs and protective styles. It's antifungal, antibacterial, and anti-funk, so you know you're protected.
It softens and conditions your hair, and it's anti-frizz too.
This really is all you need. It's rich with antioxidants, loaded with growth-promoting ingredients. Look at the growth of my hair. The proof is in the product. Need I say more? Don't delay. Purchase yours today.
I Am Melanin Magic, and so are you.